That was pretty good. And now we've got Volta and Team Pretty coming up. Gonna send it to the analysts of Sutonia and Bayarche.
Hello, Volta versus Team Pretty. Both these teams are third and fourth. Should be noted that Volta and both Volta and Team Pretty can potentially come in second place. I think Volta can come in second if they win this match, and Team Pretty can come in second if they get a domination victory here. So you see Oracle first from the Volta side, very standard red side ban. Oracle is a very powerful ship because it does a lot of damage at range.
Yeah, and Team Pretty banning out the Rogue. Interesting though, it's usually Raven that's banned there, and Rogue is usually left for the third ban. They usually kind of like it's usually Tempest or Rogue in the third ban, but they've got rid of it first. Obviously, more scared of the Rogue. I think that comes from I think they might have been the team that lost to Hoodies Rogue in the first match, and kind of everyone was surprised by the Rogue supremacy. Getting there coming out as a ban for Volta, I think that's probably a good idea. If they're red, they're going to be left with kiting, and so they don't want the long range nukes on the grid. Pretty going for banning the Execra, making sure that Volta don't pick armor, and the support ships coming in pretty quick here.
Yeah, Vigil picked up for Volta. Good ship for applying damage. Punish and Algus picked up very rapidly for Team Pretty. Pretty standard armor core that we've seen quite a lot. And actually, the Thrasher picked up by Volta. We haven't actually seen this in the Major League yet. We've only seen it in the Minor League, picked by Provi Shots, who actually used it to really great effect.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that was a misclick there by Starfleet Commander, though maybe not. Maybe he's got a plan. Thrasher has got very short range weaponry, so it's not been that popular. The Tower usually is more popular because it can kind of hang back and stay out of the optimal range of things like Harbinger and Oracle. But no, they've gone for the Thrasher, so interesting pick there. Scythe there over Osprey choice. So we do know like Volta are a team that live in Thera, and they do a lot of roaming and skirmishing, so something they rely on to mitigate damage on TQ on a daily basis, which is probably why they've gone side. I can't keep up with these picks and bans. Both teams have really got a plan here.
Tornado, we've not seen that before either. And the Hyperion, which is kind of decent. We've talked about how strong it is. It was left open, so Volta picked that up. It's weird to see the Tornadoes, but and also the Raven, the Tempest was actually available, and they went for the Hyperion, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting that they went for that. I guess maybe they just want to like kind of put it in the Team Pretty's way and make it catch the focus. Tornado, actually, I think that's the first time we've seen a Tornado, which is kind of surprising me because it does actually dish out a decent amount of damage. And if you load barrage, it can get a pretty good range. It's got a reasonable buffer. It's not as obviously tanky as the combat battle cruiser. It's an attack battle cruiser, but it's pretty quick. It's pretty fast, so it can move around and kind of skirmish on the edge of a fight. Team Pretty though, bringing up Harbinger, that's going to make the side and the Tornado sweat. And Team Pretty going for a Dominix. This is probably going to be for third place this match, potentially second place. So. Yeah, interesting selections here. I don't think that possibly Starfleet kind of like got frustrated when he picked Thrasher instead of Tower and just kind of rattled through the rest of the picks and bans is what I'm thinking at the moment. Or maybe this is some grand plan of stuff we haven't seen before. Anyway, it should be interesting. We'll go back to Apoth, who I'm sure will be interested to discuss these picks and bans.
I certainly am. This is a pretty interesting setup we've got here. If I bring it up on my doodad. Oh no, that's damn. Okay, let's hand it over to Rain to discuss her thoughts on these bans whilst I open the actual correct thing.
Do you want me to talk about the bans or just anything in general?
The bans or anything in general, whatever you're excited about, share your heart with us today, Rain.
I feel like this is still the traditional, like, I see we have like a kitey shield set up with the scythe, which is a little bit faster, and then we have the armor setup, probably not as kitey, but you also have the auger, which kind of has to be in a little bit of close range. But I think it's a very different mix of what we normally expect. Like, we have a Thrasher instead of a Tower, which is what we usually expect. A Dominix instead of, say, the Apocalypse, which of course was banned, so obviously that makes sense. Or even the Abaddon, which we've seen a little bit more in the past. I'm also super disappointed because Volta could have done a full Minmatar team but they picked the Hyperion for some reason, and I don't know why, but I'm really, really disappointed in that. Really disappointed.
Awesome. Now I actually have the correct. I agree. This Mimitar team looks wild. We got the NATO in there. The Scythe coming out is one of the less used Logi. Thrasher coming out, good old Thrasher. Vigil, popular as always with the Hyperion. And then I'm really interested in the Team Pretty team, actually, because it's kind of this standard staple that we've set up. Fozzie, why do you think that the Team Pretty team archetype is throughout the tourney so far?
I think it just gives you a whole lot of flexibility. The ability to use rep drones being the only Tech 2 drones allowed, means that it's a pretty decent defensive option combined with the armor tank provided by the Augur. And you get the combination of good damage application at pretty decent ranges from things like Harbingers, and if they're not banned out, Oracles and Apocs. And the Dominix has proven to be really effective as well, actually. I think a lot more than people have given credit for.
Okay, well, teams are obviously getting their stuff together, sorting out ship bits, planning out what they're going to do when you get them in the arena. Can I just say that this new, whatever the hell they've done to TeamSpeak to make it garbage is really irritating. But it's opening and closing over the place. But yeah, so we've got teams coming through here. Larkin, what are your thoughts on the matches we've seen so far tonight, and what are you looking forward to from this match now?
Look, honestly, I'm really looking forward to some sort of magical Hyperion mastery coming out of this next match. I actually think it was a pretty cool pick there. You've got two completely, almost two sub-themes here. You've got the Mimitar Rush sitting on one side and the Hyperion just doing its own little thing, able to, a little bit of mobility around the battlefield with the MJD, able to dish out a bunch of damage and just tank for days by itself. It doesn't even need the rest of its team. It's just going to take this home solo and just, yeah. That's what I'm really looking forward to.
It's actually pretty cool. Now that when you up the Hyperion doing cool Hyperion stuff, yesterday in the minor league finals series, we did see a Hyperion try to MJD and catch a Talwar just from the center of the arena. There was a Talwar that was orbiting the arena with 70 or 80 kilometers, and he was just being a pesky little Talwar. And just out of nowhere, this Hype just like spools up an MJD from the center of the arena and just jumps straight at his face. It was really funny to see. I'm hoping that we see Hyperion play again similar to that. I love watching Hyperion's MJD in the Alliance tournament. The most recent one, we did have a really fancy entire MJD team that MJD'd it was like 3 times in a row to completely just confuse their opponent. We don't really have those types of MJD deacons here. We only have the MJD modules sitting on certain ships. Hyperion is one of those ships. Or actually, no. Is it? I don't know. Maybe it was a Megatron. Maybe this Galente in my head is all gone crazy. But either way, definitely a pretty fun thing to see. Again, we see Team Pretty bringing a Dominix. Suetonia, why are we seeing so many Dominixes today? Like, what is? Have teams figured out that Dominix is like the new meta, or what?
I think, as CCP Fozzie mentioned, the Dominix is really flexible. It's got smart bombs, it's got newts. You can put rep bots in it. It does a lot of damage at range. It does have 3 drone damage amplifiers. So the Dominix does get the tracking and the optimal bonus. So with sentries, it can hit out quite far to the range that you'd expect from, Harbinger, Oracle, etc. So I just think it's like a super flexible ship, and I think a lot of people probably underestimated it because of only being able to bring Tech 1 combat drones. I think a lot of people underestimate drone damage bonus ships initially, but it seems like people have realized that it's very strong.
It's also a pretty unique way to be able to hide like what you're actually bringing. Like, I'm bringing a Dominix, but what is the drone layout that you're bringing? I think that's a very unique way of sort of skating some of your tactics.
That'll be pretty cool to see. And we see Volta bringing a Tornado, which, unlike what you generally see them on TQ, our Tornado is close range and it does a lot of deeps in your face with the autocannons. Do you think these, like the curators from the Dominix, should the Dominix take curators, Do you think the tornado is gonna be the primary target here, or what do you think Team Pretty is gonna try and go for first? Oh, and I'll throw that to Madden.
Sorry, I was noticing the some stuff in look. Can you repeat the question for me, please?
Oh yeah, for sure. I was gonna say, like, if you're Team Pretty and you see all this Minotaur DPS in your face, do you go for the tornado first because it's gonna be a close range sort of brawly tornado, or do you go for just trying to kill the scythe and maybe thrashers and more traditional types of target calling?
So I feel like I can see how this is going to go a little bit just because we've seen it from Volta before, especially with the Hyperion. I know that NATO and Thrasher was a surprise, but I think what's going to happen is SFC is going to be in the Hyperion. He's going to land 50 off. He's going to MJD somewhere. It's, like, even if they're 50 kilometers away from him, he's still going to MJD because that's what he does best. And then you're going to see the Tornado and Thrasher trying to either get them to bait onto it or going after the Hyperion because that's a combined, like, 13 or 1400 DPS. He's got 200 millimeter autocannons, the 800 millimeter repeatings, and it's just a super high DPS combo. So if they get on top of something, it's going to explode. The best opportunity for Team Pretty is they're going to try and probably, I guess, kite and armor ships as much as they can. Stay super far away, which is obviously the best option. The NATO is fast, the Hyperion with MGD, the Scythe is fast. These are really quick ships, but if Team Pretty can basically just stay away long enough to get a couple kills, which is probably doable because the Tornado and the Thrasher and the Vigil don't have a lot of tank, then they're going to have a really good opportunity. But I'm excited to see just the amount of DPS you get with blasters plus autocannons just in your face. Give it to them.
Yeah, it will be pretty interesting to see how this goes down. I personally don't know what I would do. Like, if I'm on Team Volta, and we are Starfleet Commander is he's the captain for this team. He was not the drafter last time they flew, but he is taking duties over again for drafting, and so you see a bit of a different flair coming out of them. So it should be pretty cool. He's the one that's been flying their logistics ships. He's been a logistics pilot in Alliance tournament before. He's actually won an Alliance tournament as a logistics pilot. Really skilled pilot himself. So I kind of going to be focusing in on him and hoping we get to watch what he gets to do. But let's see, we got both teams on the field and we're ready to go. So I'm going to hand it over to Madden and CCP Larrikin for this match between Volta and Team Pretty.
All right, Madden Ken Rendy here with CCP Larrikin to bring you this exciting matchup of Volta versus Team Pretty. I'll introduce Volta, who have brought the Hyperion, sorry, I broke this up, but anyway, who have brought the Tornado, Scythe, Vigil, Thrasher, Hyperion combo. Very exciting. He's the Scythe of Starfleet Commander. I misspoke on what ship he's flying. Larrikin, you want to introduce Team Pretty?
I do want to introduce Team Pretty, flying the Dominic's, Harbinger, Augurer, Algos, and Punisher. They've come in at a ball or about 90 degrees on the opposite plane of the solar system. So there's around about, I want to say, 60 kilometers between these two teams. They came in at a ball at 50 from the beacon, and the match is starting right now.
Yeah, we're not going to see Hyperion MJD. That of all the things, like if it had been 100 kilometers away, it could have jumped right on top of him.
You can't call that yet, man. Like, we may see a Hyperion MJD, just not immediately.
That's true. The match is early. As you've seen, the Algo's taking a ton of damage.
Yeah, it looks like Team Pretty is all away. They're just like, fuck it, we'll just armor kite. We don't even care. So they're kiting away from Team Volta at the moment, dropping a whole bunch of drones, putting a little bit of damage on the Scythe, but the Scythe is tanking just fine. He's got lots of transversal there and getting his reps onto, I am not sure what he's getting his reps.
The Thrasher. You're seeing infiltrators go off to the Thrasher, it looks like, which is an interesting choice. You don't see a lot of infiltrators used. That's the first time I think I've seen them, at least today. Valkyries and Hammerheads, but infiltrators are an interesting switch up. As you're seeing now, a little bit of damage on the Harbinger, a lot of damage kind of pulling off the Algos. The Hyperion's taking a ton of damage, though. And that is not a shield tank ship. It's got a large ancillary, so it's going to be hard to take, as it has just burned straight at the Team Pretty.
He's just going into town. He's really close to the Highbringer. He's got a good chance of catching the Highbringer and just trying to put all that damage on top of him. But I'm not sure if he's going to be able to tank. I mean, we know the Hyperion Hull gets a whole bunch of bonuses here, but yeah, he's not going to get much help from that side. So I am not sure.
I mean, he can get some. It can like,
It'll help.
rep him and it'll take a little bit of armor. If he uses those Archer Ancillary Reppers equitably, I think he has a great shot to kill this Harbinger. He looks like he's burning through reps with just small reps from the Augur.
Yeah, I mean, the Harbinger is going down. It's like half armor right now. You can see that damage from the Hyperion getting him really, really well, and it looks like a heavy stasis grappler. So yeah, he's doing well, and the Hyperion is surviving just fine.
Yeah, the Hyperion's doing a great job. He's just sitting there chilling. The Dami is not able to put enough DPS on him, even with the Harbinger. As it goes down, it's really fast.
Yeah, super quick. That is a bunch of damage off the team for Team Pretty as well. So I'm interested to see what their counterplay is right now. They were doing a great job of kiting, but they've kind of just been caught now and aren't really making a call one way or the other.
Yeah, it's a really bad choice to stay on the Hyperion. If you look at the Tornado, close enough that I bet they could have hit it, especially with the Harbinger and the Dami. If they had switched to that NATO, which is way less tank, as the Punisher also drops, I bet they could have actually killed that versus the Hyperion, which essentially just bait tanked them. It said, I'm a Hyperion. I know I'm not a shield ship, but I don't actually care. And now the Algos is going to go down. Because if the Tornado and the Thrasher are in range, that's so much DPS. No reps could hold that up, especially a T1 Augur with a small rep. It didn't have a chance.
No, it's gone. It's dead. It's got nothing. I was pretty dubious. Like, I was happy to see this Hyperion choice, and that Orgros is down. But yeah, I was dubious. I was like, is that just a blocking pick, or is that a pick? Obviously, Team Volta knew exactly what they were doing.
Yeah, they really did. I mean, no one else in their entire team has even really been shot. A little bit on Starfleet Commander. Again, he doesn't even have rep. He doesn't have self-rep. He's just kitey. And because that Harbinger went down, there's pretty much nothing from Pretty that could even touch him. It was really just an effective flight. The Hyperion said, I'm going to go in basically solo. They're going to primary me, which they did. And then he's basically annihilating them. I mean, this is looking a lot like a domination victory, and this list Augur is just going to shock the world.
I mean, I kind of hope it does, and we've seen a Dominic shock the world today already. So I'm not
if
saying
Suleiman was here, I'd be concerned for Volta. There's like 5-on-1. I feel like he'd get even better.
Yeah, that's probably true. But look, Vinix, so I'm not trying to doubt you, man. I wish you all the best, but good luck, my friend. You have a battle ahead of you.
Yeah, he's got a grappler on him. He's got a Nos. He's not going to go very fast or very far. But that Augur is burning. That Augur is at 101 and rising. He's going to get away, and the Scythe's going to die. The Scythe is definitely going to die. Wow. He does not have any tank, really.
That's interesting. Like, maybe we spoke too soon. Like, if you're the Dominics and you're looking at this right now, you don't want to fight that Hyperion. That's a losing battle. But you can totally take out like a Tornado or a Vigil or something, or Thrasher, get rid of a whole bunch of DPS off this field.
Yeah, I mean, I think, it's weird that the Dami hasn't taken advantage of all of its drone bays to take out some other switch ships as you see the Augur go down, because they could have, dropped some sentries, get some hammerheads or, infiltrators or whatever it wants out there, take out the Scythe really pretty easy. Now it's burned away, so you don't have to worry about it anymore. Now you can switch to the Tornado. Obviously at this point, the Dami is tackled. It's not going to go very fast. Whatever's near it, that's its best bet. But it may be really challenging for it to take something out now while it's just going to sit there all by its lonesome and take damage.
Now, I've kind of missed this, but have Volta switched to knocking out the drones on the Dami, or are they just focusing on that?
Nah, they're just shooting it, I think. I mean,
I don't even...
there aren't that many. I mean, there are a bunch of drones still out there. I am seeing Curators die, so it could be a smart bomb maybe from the Hyperion. That wouldn't surprise me too much.
That could be it, yeah. Anyway, I think this is going to be a flawless victory on behalf of Volta. They've played incredibly strongly today. I am super, super impressed.
Yeah, I mean, even the Scythe not dying here, great job by him to make sure they pull out this domination, which gives them a chance, I believe, at least second place.
Very nice, Volta, very nice. Anyway, that is the match. We'll pass it back.